Hi everyone, this is AlphaAli. Welcome back to another video. I hope everyone's alright. Today we're doing a Bronze 1 Mercy VOD view for Drax. Drax already has the Infinite Sea Mercy skin as well. It's only been out for like a week. Like, oh my word. But it's such a pretty skin. Love it without the golden gun. So we've already VOD reviewed Drax before. Drax, I believe, was, I think, silver, so it dropped a little bit. But at the same time, due to all the Season 4 MMR stuff, everyone's ranks are all over the place at the moment, so, you know. So, looking at Drax's comp, we currently have a Soldier, a Bastion, a Zarya, and an Ana. So, obviously, Soldier is going to be your main blue beam target. Bastion will be great to damage boost when he's in, like, turret form and stuff like that. Then, obviously, Zarya, if she's high charge, once again, damage boost her. And you won't really need to, like, focus a lot on healing because you have the Ana. So, honestly, it's just great. So, go see what you're doing. So already we're going up to go and play with the Soldier. Nice. I don't know where the rest of your team are, but it's fine. If you just kind of stick here with your Soldier, just keep an eye on him. And honestly, it should be good. I like how you're looking out this top bit as well. Lovely ping onto that Reaper as well. A lovely peel as well for your Ana. So here, essentially, you kind of like don't want to be like kind of like hopping about and doing this. Like you kind of like stood out in the open, getting very close. Try to still maintain that max beam range, and you can do like kind of like a GA over to kind of like come and help her and stuff like that. So it feels like you're in a better position for like this bit, because now you're in like a really bad spot. You can always do a backwards GA there in order to, like, to get away. You want your blue beam on your Soldier. I love how you're using this max beam range and stuff like that. Alright, we've got up to the Bastion. Remember, you still need to keep an eye out for your Soldier. Instead of rotating around this way, try to find the Bastion. Yeah. Oh, so unless if he's in his turret form, you don't really need to focus the Bastion unless he's like, what's it called? Unless if he's like in his turret form. But here, instead of rotating around the front like you did, because if you rotate around the front, the whole of the team's here, right? Instead, you want to kind of like rotate around this back bit here and then come and help like peel for your Soldier and stuff like that. Just as like a like safer distance and stuff. You need to stay with him though, because you can still hear that the Tracer's still diving him and stuff like that. So if there's still someone that's being dove and has him on, like has someone on him, 100% just go in and keep keep with the Soldier. Very nice. I love how you were like debating to go in with the Zarya then. I would have just gone in with her genuinely, just to kind of like help like what's called with staggers, because you've won the team fight, so there's going to be nobody there that's going to like really harm you. But we're up the Bastion. I think the Bastion has like a better spot right now. Lovely ping. I love your use of pings. It's really, really good. I think I would be playing, because at the moment you're playing very like, essentially you and your Bastion are doing nothing right now, whereas your whole team are kind of like being focused and like playing here. I think personally here I would be with my Soldier, right? I would be playing like around this part here, or maybe like around like the back of the payload, like playing like around like this side here and stuff like that. Because at the moment, like you're sat with your Bastion, and it's good that you want to like blue beam your Bastion and be with your Bastion and everything like that. But you more than likely you want to be with your Soldier down here instead, alright? I know obviously there is that, what's it called? There's that Reaper and stuff. But honestly, until he like TP's on and stuff like that. Yeah, so I love your peel here, going round. You can res that. Nice. Lovely res behind the cover as well. I would have maybe backed a little bit more with the cover. We've got a bit stuck, haven't we? Yeah. As soon as you see yourself being like frozen by, what's it called? By a Mei, like this. Oh, sorry, I've just been removed from my Xbox Pi. Give me a second. So as soon as you hear yourself, like being frozen by this Mei, you want to get as far away as you can, right? And I think you're like trying to look for it, but you should have automatically just gone to your Zarya and GA'd round to like how you did, but you should have been, what's it called? A little bit quicker. Can't do anything there, and you don't have your res. Here you're still very stood out in the open, right? Because as soon as that team kind of pushes in, you're just gonna, what's it called? You're just gonna be stood out here, right? With the Soldier, you want to be playing inside this kind of room here. Or, and this one's a little bit more risky, but you can play like inside this room bit. Obviously, you have to be careful for flankers and stuff, especially because the team did have a Tracer. They've switched off now. But majority of the time, when they're kind of like pushing through like this, you want to be, what's it called? You want to be playing inside this room instead, because you can, what's it called? But lovely though. You can go up to this high ground bit as well. I feel as though that would help you out a lot more. But it'd help all. I don't understand the purpose of this GA. Like, because it's like, because you're with your soldier, and then as soon as you see a window, whenever you see a window, you just want to cut LOS of that completely. There is no reason why you should be in front of like a window like this. I'm just gonna keep it going. Yeah. Honestly, you should have stayed back. Like, if your soldier goes in there, that's your soldier's fault. Because honestly, like, whenever you see a window and stuff, what's it called? Normally people just, just die instantly. Or people will cut LOS of it and stuff like that. Yeah, so Drax, you should have been in the room beforehand, if you get me. I think then it would have helped. But I like how you're coming back here. Damage boost. You need to put your beam on your Zarya a little bit quicker here. Lovely Bastion ult though. You need to go and help your soldier. Very nice. Help your Zarya. Lovely peel for your Ana here as well. Nice. And then I'd kind of like push forward a little bit here with your soldier and everyone. Once again, same thing. You need to be in the, in the room. Let's see what you do here for this res. Obviously helping your Zarya. You've done the right thing, right? With this, you've done the right thing. But it's, you need to like, I feel as though your decision making, you need to be a bit quicker with it, if you get me. Because it's kind of like, oh, I should be going with my Zarya, but you're taking like a little bit too long in order to go out and like, you know, go and do it. I suppose you need to kind of like increase that a little bit. Love the damage just on the Bastion though. Very, very nice. Lovely avoidance of the bomb. Who was the person that died? Your Ana. Okay. It's just, you kind of like, you went for like the most, like the riskiest res out of the two. Because you had your Ana that was up here that you could just stand and res. And the Zarya. And I get why like you wanted to go for the Zarya and stuff like that. It was just very, very risky. And it would have Valked a bit soon. What you could have done here. Yeah, so, and I get that with like the whole like hierarchy of like, it probably would have been better to res the Zarya there. But I would have used my Valk to res it, right? Because what she was about here. Wasn't she? So you could drag this res round this rock using your Valk, right? So what I would have done here, I would have popped the Valk earlier, so your team could still use the benefits of it and stuff like that. Gone round the rock, resed here, and then carried on damage boosting your team, right? Because I don't know whether it would have saved your Bastion or not, but it would have been a lot like safer and a better way to do that play, basically. I don't even know what you're looking at here. Like, all right, nice escape though. I think you need to be looking at your team. Oh no, you need to get out. You need to get out. I don't know what you hung about. You somehow get out. Okay, that whole scenario, right? As soon as your team have passed away like that, you need to just get yourself out of there, right? I don't know why you kind of just like end up like stopping and just like lingering here, because they're gonna start pushing up from this spot, right? You need to get out. Like you need to like get out, leave, like see you later, you know. Also, in that last team fight, you seemed a little bit lost, if you get me. Because you're kind of like looking around like this. Instead, your eyes should be fully just like on your team, and you should be flicking from like teammate to teammate, looking at where everything's going. But instead, your camera is kind of like focused like upwards like this, and you were kind of just like spinning around like this, you know? And this isn't going to do anything like to help your team or like help with your awareness. So instead, you should be like flicking from person to person like this, you know? But it's nice that you got out and stuff. Yeah, your Bastion's... Don't res... Okay. If this was a higher lobby, what would have happened here is the Reaper and the Mercy would have pushed forward. I was trying to dodge every time. Yeah, but... So, if you're just flying about like that, you're not going to dodge anything, I'm going to be honest, Drax. The only way you're going to, like, dodge stuff with Mercy is your like actual GAs and stuff like that. Or if you're in Valk dodging them, you kind of like dodge and weave in like Valk a little bit with like your crouch and jump buttons and stuff like that. But by looking up and like not looking at your team, you're not actually helping your team in any way, kind of thing. You can still do that whilst looking at your team, if you get me. That's what I'm getting at. And then here, I know you want to go for this res, but if it was a higher lobby, what would have happened is the Reaper would have pushed forward with the Mercy and gone forward and like pushed you out basically. So it's very risky. Nice ping though. Honestly, your Bastion was pushed way too far forward anyways. He should have just backed out. Nice ping again. Same thing, you'll start in the open quite a bit here, right? So instead, you want to play in here or like around this corner here, or you can play in this gas station and stuff. It's just it's quite vulnerable if you play around here, right? So you can either play in this gas station or you can play like in this building. Mainly this building. This building's a lot better. Or you can use like the higher grounds and stuff like up here, like where your Zarya is basically, because then you kind of like back behind this corner if needed. Because once again, you'll start very in the open, and if that Mei hits an icicle on you, you're dead. Same with the back window. Hi everyone, sorry I ended up getting disconnected from the servers. The servers are being a bit weird today with like Overwatch and stuff. So we're gonna just carry on from where we were. I believe where we left was like with this window, and I'm just gonna quickly just explain what happened again. On the just in case. Essentially, you should have been more prepared in like in the what's it called? In the saloon already, basically. Because I feel as though you would have you would have been a lot safer in there and stuff like that. But it's all good. No worries, we could just go again. I don't know what your team are gonna do here. But yeah, so I guess we'll probably go back. You want to damage, once again, you want to sit with your soldier and stuff like that, damage boost them. Although it seems like everyone's kind of like staggering at the moment. That's a very risky res. With this res, I think you can get it around this wall, looking at the distance and stuff like that, which is what you want to do if you want to get this res off. But at the same time, once again, you're resing in front of like a Baptiste, right? And if this Baptiste like was, I don't know, like they could hear you basically, then it would be straight away like you're dead pretty much. Like once again, this is quite a risky res from you. And I was gonna pressure you. Okay, here you should have just backed out. Because if you end up staggering here, this is kind of huge. Get your pistol out and turn around and like. So whenever something like that happens, especially if it looks like your team can't contest, then 100% just leave it and just back out, right? Instead you go and touch the point, and then somehow you manage to get out. If you're ever backing out from a fight like that, and you feel like you can live, then just get your pistol out and just like walk backwards and just keep checking like behind you and stuff like that, just in case. But so you want to be going up with your cast here. Yeah, so here you want to be with your casts in a second. Same thing, you can res that a little bit more in like the window and stuff. I like that res though. You're running Mercy Lucio now, which means it's going to be a lot harder. Yeah, you can't do anything about that. There, what you could have done, instead of just going like front and back, you could, do like a slingshot forward to her, then up onto this high ground here, because then it means you can also help your Cassidy out, or you can slingshot up onto here as well. Probably here's maybe a little bit better, because obviously the people from underneath can't shoot you. But you can like go slingshot up here, and then you can help, instead of just doing like a backwards J front and back, because with your Guardian Angel, especially like super jumps and stuff, right, you want to use it to reposition, rather than you want to use it to reposition, like up to here, rather than like stay where you are. You always want to use your Guardian Angels to not use the GA or like super jump to position. Use it to reposition. I feel as though it's a nice little Neanderthal quote, I guess. Yeah, because then it would have helped a lot here. You don't need to be in here. You can play like outside the room and stuff like that there. Oh, it's working on my laptop now. That's good. You need to... Oh, you don't need to about this now, actually. I was about to say, you need to be about this when they engage in. You just seem really like... I don't know. You seem really like unnervy on like your mechanics, right? And you seem to be like just... I don't know what it is, but it's like... You don't seem to have full focus on the game. Like, it kind of just seems like you slip off like things, and I don't know. What you need to do here is just, I think you failed the jump up, right? You should just be up on here and just kind of play with the cast in here, right? I press too fast so I don't hold long enough. Yeah, I think it's all just your Mercy mechanics, honestly. Let's see what happens here. Lovely up. Should have been straight in, but it's alright. That was a better res than the other one, getting it in. Who have you lost? You've only lost your... Yeah, you should have valked earlier. I was about to say, if you're going to use your valk, you should have valked way earlier. Like, what you could have done with this valk instead is just pressed it after you've rezzed, press it, because your beams will reach the Zarya over here, and you can literally stand back and you can switch your beam between helping your cast or going down there. It's the same thing, you're using your valk once again very high up in the sky and stuff like that. Just honestly, just stay, what's it called? You use it for cover and stuff like that. Yeah, just stay with your Zarya here. Can't do anything about your Lucio. He just peeks a window. He shouldn't have done that. Okay. With that whole scenario, you need to be looking, what's it called? You need to be looking and damage boosting and like using your beam as much as you can. Like, because you were kind of like flying, like, I loved your movement, kind of, so you flew about to like cover and use your cover very, very nicely, but you should have also been like looking to like put your beam onto people as well at the same time. So yeah, sorry, I was just moving my phone over because it's come back up on my laptop. So here, once again, you want to be using your blue beam for usefulness, right? Because at the moment, what's it called? Your blue beam in this Bastion here. Bastion is nowhere in this fight. But look, you have a Lucio who's looks like he's gonna die. But you also have these two, right? That are in the fight. You want to be using your, like, because it's all good having like a good like blue beam uptime. Like, oh, I have like a 65% blue beam uptime, right? But you have hardly anything damage boosted. You need to just be useful with your blue beam, and being useful with your blue beam would be blue beam being either your Zarya here, because Zarya is a great counter to D.Va, probably like one of the best counters to D.Va is Zarya, because you can't DM any of like her beam, or you come and sit with your cast and you damage boost your cast, because at the moment you were like blue beaming your Bastion who's just doing nothing. Very nice, lovely beat. I don't know why you G8. Okay, if you wanted to GA in here, it should have been up and over, right? Because as soon as your Lucio used the beat, it means people can maybe survive the blizzard and stuff like that. Because normally, if the whole team are here, like, focusing people, and there's a blizzard, normally everyone just falls over and dies, right? Sometimes, if the Lucio beats, it's usually that they can survive it, in which case I would have put the beam onto Zarya, gone up. You don't have to do the jump. So Drax, all you do is you just GA to someone, and then when you get to them, like, move your camera up and then press jump and it'll send you up. Or you could do it with crouch as well. But I like to use jump a little bit more because you can like angle it a bit easier and like come up here. And then you could just stand up here instead. Alright? But then as soon as like they died, you can then just GA over to your Bastion if needed, right? This was basically like a no-no res. Like, what you're doing here is you're resing in front of like 3 or 4 people. Like, you're going to die straight away, which is exactly what happened. But it's all good. We'll see what happens now. It's hard running Mercy Lucio though, because I don't really understand why they've got Lucio by the least of my team. I mean, I can see it, right? Like, there are certain, because the only deaths that you've had are kind of like positional ones, if you get me. Like, because I don't really know, like, it's like you're not playing in, like, there are certain parts where you play an amazing cover. Like, when you were, like, GAing around the point, on that second to last fight, you did it so well. Like, you were GAing very, very nicely around the corners, playing safety and stuff like that. But then it comes to, like, generic, like, you know, before and after team fights and stuff, and you just start in the open quite often. And it's, what's it called? I think it's part of the reason why you're dying quite a bit as well. But I think a lot of your deaths could have been avoidable if you either were like better with your mechanics, or what's it called, you know, like, I guess just like position yourself better is what I'm kind of like getting at here. And I think overall just looking at your team and like looking at what your team are doing as well. Have I just gone back? Yeah, I have. Alright, so we're in a bit of a weirder comp for Mercy now. Obviously, so your main blue beam is actually going to be your Bastion now. But you have to do a lot of healing again because obviously you have a Zen. But you can still like push this damage boost a lot. Lovely GA away, although you should have put your beam onto your what's it called? Your Zen here, right? Because when you see a Reaper like this and they're not going to chase after you, who else are going to chase after? Your Zen, right? And even though they might not win this 1v1 and stuff like that, you need to like put it on and heal. I like this res though, because obviously it's quite safe to do, especially with the wall up and everything. You need to be in to help your ramp. Instead of doing a backwards J here, you can literally put your beam on and then just walk around here and play around here instead, right? Once again, it's a safer place to play. Can't do anything for your what's it called. I think in this comp here, actually your Zen is probably your best blue beam here. So whenever, can you see when the Zen like charges up his volley like that? Honestly, just quickly flick your damage boost onto him like that. It will honestly help you out so much. And it will get like lots of like nice like spam damage in and stuff like that. And when people are above like half HP like this, like a lot of people are, what's it called? A lot of people are quite healthy. You could just stick a blue beam on someone. Like, even though you are running Zen Mercy, it doesn't mean that you need to like healing like for the entire time or like constantly with your heal beam. You can instead just, what's it called? Just put a blue beam onto someone, if you get me. You need to be pushed up forward a lot here. Like, you're playing very, like, passive and back here. Nice blue beam onto the Bastion, though. Nice. And then I guess we'll just wait to see where people position themselves. Honestly, here, I'd be pushing up. Because you have people that are going to push the coin. Like, you have Ramatcha and May, right? Here, I'd just push up with my Zen. Because the Zen could, if he gets, like, a headshot on, like, a load of people, he can just annihilate someone, right? Which I'm hoping you'll do in a second. Drax, what sense do you run? Because you seem really uncomfortable with your sense. Like, you seem to be like, it seems like the sense is too quick for you quite a bit of the time. You should be with your Zen here as well. You should be with your Zen. Yeah, okay, so you got it. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like, your sensitivity. Like, you know when you, like, whack about, like, this? Have you got it on so it's really, really fast or quite slow? Or, like, because at the moment it feels like it's too fast for you at some points. But for this point, you should have been, like, with your Zen over here. Right? Because your Zen is the one that's getting picks and it feels like, what's it called? Yeah, Drax. For some reason, it seems a bit too fast for you. But I don't know what it's on. So, I don't know. But anyways, you need to be, like, with your Zen here. You need to, like, be with him. Because at the moment, once again, you're kind of, like, although you're helping your team out here, you need to be, like, peeling for your Zen here. Because Zen, when he gets stoved by people, he's very, very vulnerable. Once again, need to peel for your Zen. I think here with this whole scenario, you're playing like two. It's so weird because there's certain fights where you play what's called, you play really like with your team. Like, I don't, it's so weird because like there are some fights where like you play really bunched up, and then there's other fights where you play like really like far back. I don't know. I don't really understand it. Love the GA way though. That's what I mean by the jump thing, by the way. Go on. Nice. Oh, so you kind of like kept like nice at bay and stuff like that there. You did really well at keeping your Bastion up there as well. I like that. Yeah, what I'm saying is that I feel as though it's one or the other with you. Like, it's very much you either play directly inside your team or you play too far away. Okay. Whenever you hear a diva bomb like this, just go behind you. honestly. Because at the moment you were like, I think you were so like cautious about pushing the payload, and whenever you hear a diva bomb, you want to be looking about. And normally there's like the big like warning symbol on your screen as well, so you can see where it is. Honestly, yeah. So you should have just been here. Just position yourself back here, honestly. But so I'll fast forward a little bit to where we get back out. Blue beam. I love how you're still pushing that blue beam a little bit even when he's crit. Or like even when he's what's called half HP. Very nice. Obviously has to focus a lot on the healing him and stuff, which is fair enough. He shouldn't have gone in here. Careful, just stay here, yeah. If you want to be in this room, just stay. You don't need to res that. You don't need to res that because people are what's it called? People are going to be coming back, and your whole team is like going to be coming back and stuff like that. So you literally just want to hold back here. Okay, with this Valk, I love how you went up to go and help the what's it called? The Ramatra. But honestly, after the wall is gone, just drop back down, and you can either like play over here because you blocked the entire LOS of the whole enemy team. You can beam him, and then also like help the team out and stuff like that if you need to. Like flick between these two basically if you need to. Because at the moment you're playing very out in the open. That's a very risky res. Yeah. So with that, I wouldn't have bothered resing him there until like the team had what's it called, like fully like gone forward and stuff like that. I would have literally just stayed up here with these lot. Honestly, no, Drax, you should just do. Like there are certain times where you should just play close to the ground or like close to like walls and cover with Valk. Even if it's not the ground, you should be using the walls and stuff like that. Because at the moment it's like you use your Valk and you fly directly out into the open, and it makes you so vulnerable. So honestly, just stay back and like play the walls, play the cover, even like play the floor if you need to. You do really well here with the damage boost on the volley and stuff like that. I would have GA'd like quick like down into there. You can't really help your Reaper as such. Sorry, your Zen. Same thing with this res. You're never ever gonna get this res off because the Reaper knows you're here, and the Reaper will just what's called two tap you like he pretty much just did. In this scenario, you just want to switch your beam back onto the Ramatra, and then just back off and play around here. And normally what happens is the Reaper will push into you, and hopefully your Ramatra will turn round. But if not, it's just a lost fight then at that point. Don't go into the res like that, basically. Yeah, exactly. Because it's you've just what's called. You're just playing into like your like inevitable death at that point, pretty much. Yeah, I think it's better, Drax, if you literally just like take a little bit of a second and really think about kind of what's called what you're doing. Like, be sure, like, if you ever go into GA or, like, do anything, do it with a purpose. It's fine because you got frozen in the cover. I just suddenly wanted to go up. Damage boost. Nice. I loved how you damage boosted and then waited for the healing at the end. That was very nice, like, beam usage there. Alright, here now you should be like looking for places that you can safely stay, whether it's on the payload or not, because at the moment you're playing like just on top of the payload. So here, because you're playing directly, because what's going to happen is everyone's going to come out of this top window, and they're all just going to stand on this high ground and shoot you, right? And you're in direct line of sight. Instead, you can either play behind the payload, which is like quite risky, or play around here. Playing around this like rock is really, really good. Or you can play inside of the cafe thing as well. You just have to be careful for people coming and flanking onto you and stuff like that. Because the same thing again, you're stood out very in the open and people are just going to kill you like that, alright? Like, you don't need to be on the point for this entire thing. You can let your team do it. Like, you should be back with your Bastion right here. Love that GA backwards though. I'd Valk here. Okay. Here I would have Valks. 100% I would have Valks, right? Because you can Valk, you can stay over here and help these lot, right? Because even though you've lost your Zen, it's still a winnable fight here. So you can literally just stand back here, you can damage boost people over here. I don't know where your Mei. Did your Mei die? You may have got a pick. Oh, your Mei's over here. Okay, never mind. But you, like, instead of, like, GA-ing, like, into, like, the danger and stuff like that, you can just Valk and just sit here. Or, like, damage boost and help your team out here instead. That's alright. I'll just push it forward a little bit more. Alright, nice. Gonna push in with the Bastion. It's right, you don't need to ping that there. Same thing, right? It's like, you use your Valk. You need to, like, Valk could just come up here if you want to, because this BAP's gonna, like, shoot you down. Like, usually you get a lot of hit scans on top of this high ground, and they're just gonna sit here and just gonna shoot you down, right? Whenever you want to Valk, you either want to stay down here and Valk from here again, or use the pillars, right? Because you're using a lot of HP. Yeah, you're pretty much just blown into his entire LOS just there and stuff like that. Yeah, but in reality, as soon as you see him, just GA back down to your team, GA back down to where you were, right? Because you've essentially kind of just killed yourself there, just purely just playing on that not playing your cover basically, because you were just too busy out in the open. I love kind of saying this is an improvement from the last one. You've done a great, like, better improvement from last time, because last time you were, like, playing Mercy like a DPS, like you were being too aggressive. I love this time how you've toned down that aggressiveness, and you've, like, played you're playing a lot, like, safer at certain points, and I really like that. Well, look at the BAP, I realized the moment he's there. I felt as though you were very, like, late to react and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. If you were Zeldris, Zeldris would have just gone and, like, done that. Just what's it called? No, heal. Okay. In that whole scenario, then you shouldn't have got the Glock out. You should have literally just put your heal beam on and just healed your Bastion. Because your little Glock is going to do nothing against that Reaper there, I'm going to be very honest. Unless if it's, like, very, very low HP, it's not going to do anything. Damage boost. Same thing with that res, right? The BAP's going to turn around to you and just kill you, right? And you don't need to, because, like, he can just respawn backwards and you can save your res for this final fight, right? So you should have literally just gone in with your Bastion and just helped him out with the damage boost. Even if, like, you're waiting to res, you should have put the beam on him anyways. Same thing, just play around the wall. So I like how you wanted to go and touch here, but at the same time you have two other people that can touch, right? If you damage boost one of these two people, they can break the ice wall really quickly and just walk forward and touch it. There is no need for you to kind of, like, back around, and even if you did, then you just quickly J back out, right? Instead, you kind of, like, went forward and then just, like, stopped, right? Instead, you can literally just damage boost these two people because they can break down the Mei wall really, really quickly, and then just, get in there. Yeah, no, your tank would have. If you helped him, if you helped him get down the Mei wall with the Zen, you would be able to touch there, 100%. And even if, like, you needed to push it there, or, like, touch it, then you should always make sure you have your GA to get out, like, back. Anyway, so I feel as though when people start to contest this last fight, you need to Valk it. Same thing, you're playing very out, like, in the open. Like, there are so many nice places of cover on this point, right? You can play behind this bit. You can play behind, like, that big pillar here. Like, there is so much nice cover on this last point and stuff like that you can play around everything like that. Because it's the same thing where it's like you're playing once again very out in the open. And if that BAP just turns around to you and just, like, starts hitting you. And also I think you would avoid this ult as well. 100%. Okay, and that's the end of it. So yeah, so honestly, Drax, like, I love what you've done, and you're starting to play it a little bit less aggressively with Mercy, right? You've kind of put on that support mindset, like I said in the last VOD, and it's what's it called? You seem to be like playing a lot more passively and better, like as a Mercy should, if you get me. The next thing I need you to improve on though is you need to improve on like your positioning, and I think overall your Mercy mechanics. I feel like your Mercy mechanics are a little bit rusty, and also like certain there are certain things that you could do with what's it called? You could just play around covers a little bit more, play around corners, just honestly use your cover a lot more, because at the moment like you're just stood out in the open and you're either way too far away from your team that your beams aren't connecting, or you're playing like directly inside your team and stuff like that. So really you should like play round the sides, play your cover, and play around and stuff like that. And I think with your Valks as well, I love your timings of Valks. They might be a little bit too late sometimes, but overall your timings of your Valks are actually quite good. But the next thing you need to do with your Valks is position yourself better with them, because at the moment it's like you just get your Valk and you just just get yourself up into the skybox like, well, hey, look at me, look at my cute wings, like woo, you know. When in reality you should be playing that cover, even if it, because I know you say you don't like playing towards the ground with your Valk. There are certain times where you do need to be down to the ground playing your cover with the Valk. Like just use your Valk in order to reach people that you couldn't normally get. I hope that makes sense. But overall, like you're playing a lot more like a Mercy should, instead of playing like more like a DPS character and pushing up too much. I think it was really, really good. But it's just that general position and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching if you've been on YouTube. I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, that's a Bronze Mercy VOD review. I do my VOD reviews on my Twitch channel. I do them for 5,000 channel points in case you are interested. So you can come and either like just lurk, or you can like come and say hi. More than welcome to. And I will do the VOD reviews live on stream. And then I upload them to YouTube over here. So you basically have like a permanent copy of it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And see you all later. Bye.